A formidable coalition duo is lining up against the Turnbull government's energy policy. Tony Abbott and Barnaby Joyce have both expressed doubts over whether the National Energy Guarantee can cut power bills on the eve of a party room showdown designed to settle the plan. Here's political editor Andrew Probyn.
5 new members.
Admit them.
After a long winter recess, a personnel change. One fresh face and 4 MPs reborn. Their citizenship no longer in question.
It's marvellous to have these 4 MPs back in Parliament.
Victors in the Super Saturday by-elections, now weapons against the government's agenda.
The people of Braddon voted for more money for schools and hospitals, not banks.
Having made the by-elections a referendum on each other's economic plans, the government is now grappling with what to do with company tax cuts planned for top corporates. Tax cuts that haven't won enough favour in the Senate.
What our colleagues are saying is that if you can't get it through the Senate, then obviously that's a problem, and I readily concede that.
Obviously there's no point in flogging a dead horse, and I don't think we're at that point yet.
Many in the coalition party room say the shocking revelations in the Banking Royal Commission have made delivering tax cuts for the big end of town mission impossible. And some say taking the plan to the next election would be politically suicidal. A government crab walk on its company tax cut plan will come as early as next week. But first, the Prime Minister must navigate his energy policy through the coalition party room, amid signs from an old power duo that tomorrow's meeting will be willing.
People in the Kmart, people in the local pub, they don't care about the Paris Agreement. It means nothing to them.
The ex-Nationals leader playing warm-up for an ex-Prime Minister on the theme the government was putting emission reductions ahead of power prices.
We will control what happens in this country and the circumstances under which it happens. We will not be dictated to by green bureaucrats in Paris.
Tony Abbott's intervention's too much of a temptation for Labor.
Is the Prime Minister aware that the former Prime Minister, the member for Warringah, has ridiculed claims that power prices will fall under the Prime Minister's National Energy Guarantee, saying, and I quote, "Well, frankly, pigs might fly."
The honourable member knows very well what happens when you now allow ideology and idiocy to take charge of energy policy.
A reflection on the times. Andrew Probyn, ABC News, Canberra.
And our National Affairs correspondent Greg Jennett joins us now from Parliament House. Greg, as we've just seen, the Energy Guarantee faces a make or break test tomorrow. Will the coalition give it the tick?
Well, there'll be around 100 members in that coalition party room, Matt, and if you look at the general reckoning on the numbers there, it is that up to about a dozen are thought to harbour some level of doubt or be outright opposed to this policy, and of them about 5 or 6 who are expected to reserve the right to cross the floor if they so desire. Now, on those numbers, you would expect that with a bit of deft touch, the Prime Minister will probably carry the day tomorrow. From there are 2 hurdles remaining, of course. One is to get the Premiers and Chief Ministers on board, and the other is for federal Labor to get on side too. It says that it wants to, but of course, if either of those hurdles or both of them aren't cleared, then this very prolonged and protracted climate debate will roll on for at least another year, you would have to expect.
Well, the coalition party room's also having its say on what to do about those company tax cuts. Is there a mood to dump them?
Well, the by-elections have certainly inspired a mood for what they call barnacle clearing here. That is taking a pragmatic approach to what's achievable, but just not straight away. Everyone in the coalition is resigned to putting this back to the Senate, probably in the next week to fortnight, and having it rejected. Then trying to recraft $30 billion worth of tax cuts, not directing it towards the banks and giving Labor ammunition there, but to redirect some of that tax-cutting power back towards coalition constituencies where it has some political grunt for the next election.
All right, sounds like an interesting week. Greg Jennett, thank you.